If you were to Google how to make Sunday school more fun, the results you get would not be inspiring. You would get suggestions like, ask more questions, or make a cool bulletin board. Thank you, Google. Bet those answers aren't what you're looking for, because I know what I'm looking for, and it's not that. You know from experience that asking more questions or fashioning the world's greatest bulletin board doesn't keep kids from talking to each other and becoming completely disinterested in what you're saying. So that's why today I want to share with you a couple strategies I've used in my nearly 20 years of teaching Sunday school to keep kids more engaged and frankly to make Sunday school more fun. My name is Nathan Johnson and I've been teaching for a long time as a volunteer teacher, and I love teaching kids God's Word, and I kind of think it should be fun. So let me share with you a couple of strategies I've learned. These are my approaches and hopefully some of them will be helpful for you. All right, let's get started. Let's go big picture first. Strategy number one, stay playful. Now listen, staying playful or making things fun isn't just about like adding a joke to your Sunday school lesson. No, instead, you need to weave fun into every single part of the entire experience. You need to start and you need to stay playful. Think about it. When you sing songs, well, there needs to be a little bit of silliness. When you play a game, it should be fun. And the fun shouldn't stop when you start teaching the lesson. And that's the problem for a lot of us grown-ups. That's when the fun stops. Now, there's no denying teaching God's Word is serious business. I mean, eternity is at stake. What we do matters. It's serious. But the information can be serious, and the presentation at times can be playful or fun. Like for instance, when you teach, how do you start the lesson? Please tell me you don't start the lesson with, today we're going to be talking about this story from... I hope you're not just picking up a piece of paper and holding it in front of your face, because that's not gonna keep anyone excited. Or do you even know how you're gonna start, or you just kind of wander into the story? Well, today, class, I was thinking that we should talk about Joshua. Oh, and here's my favorite. Who can say Joshua? If you're having kids repeat a word 30 seconds into your lesson, most of the time that's a signal you have no idea what to say. So you're just pulling out the 5 tools of every teacher that's ever been unprepared. How do I know this? Because I've done it. When you start your lesson, start with something fun. That's the point. Let me give you an example. So let's say you're teaching on the Great Commission, right? Go into all the world is Jesus' command and teach the gospel. Well, how do you make that fun? Well, let me show you from the Better Bible Teachers curriculum. I think you'll like this one. I'm reading from the lesson script. So there's a little prep beforehand. It won't take long, but remember, you're trying to make Sunday school fun. So it might take 5 minutes at home. I promise, it won't take long. But what you're gonna do is you're gonna make some secret envelopes, and you're gonna make like a secret message mission that the kids are on, and they have to discover the secret message. So imagine you've prepared the necessary envelopes, like take a screenshot. That's the preparation right there. And I'm gonna read this part right here. So here's how you begin your lesson. Imagine if you sit down to teach, what if this was the first thing to come out of your mouth? Now it's time for the Bible story. You're going to love, wait, what's this? And then a helper puts a finger to the mouth and says, shh, and mysteriously walks away. So beforehand, you've set up someone to just very simply interrupt your lesson right at the beginning and hand you an envelope. Like imagine like maybe a grown-up son or daughter you have, or a random volunteer, it doesn't matter. But imagine right at the beginning of your story, if you just interrupt class with an envelope. So you say, is this like a secret message or something? Now remember, you don't have to be an actor, but if you say the word, is this a secret message? Playful. You ask the kids, do you think I should open it? Okay, let's find out what it says. And then you read the letter out loud. It's a couple lines. You're just reading this. You've been selected for an important mission. Our leader handed down this job a long time ago, but few people have ever done it. Those who are worthy of the mission will work hard and pay attention to the leader's instructions. We've put a set of clues in place for you and your class to follow so we can discover if you're worthy. To begin, your students should look under their chairs for the next clue. Well, you heard the letter. Look under your chairs. Like, just imagine that was the opening to your class. In your own style, in your own voice, you have someone interrupt the lesson with a secret message envelope. You read the secret message that's provided for you, and then kids look under the chairs and they find the first clue. There's the first clue. Okay, you don't have to have this particular lesson, but just think, could I make this a little bit of a game? Because doesn't that make it more interesting? Otherwise, you're teaching on the Great Commission and you're trying to explain where Jerusalem, Judea, and Samaria are on a map. Perhaps you can make that fun. I always love a good challenge. I think making it a secret message mission will engage even the boys. You get my point? Be playful, even in the way you present your story. Now listen, I know it's close. Please don't stop the video. I apologize. And back up a little bit. There we go. Please don't tell me that maybe you're like, oh, I start fun, and then we move on to the serious stuff. Well, I'm all for the serious stuff. I think we should get serious. I'm not encouraging you to spend the entire classroom time telling jokes and being funny. However, you can't spend the next 10, 15 minutes after you get done with your clever, playful introduction lecturing the kids. You need to strategically place in the middle of your lesson another playful element. So let me give you an example. So this example is from Noah's Ark and the flood. Another super popular lesson, something hopefully you can use very, very soon. I'm going to be referencing the script from my lesson library. You take it and you do it in the way you like, but here's the idea. So you've told the kids about Noah and the ark and all the animals getting into the ark. Why not spend 30 seconds in the middle of your lesson just thinking about the reality of spending months in an ark with a bunch of animals? Think of the smells. I'm reading. Think of the smells. Animals are kind of gross. Like, they smell really, really bad. But there's Noah and his family and like 1,000 of his closest animal friends all crammed into the boat. And do you know what they're doing? Waiting and waiting and more waiting. Can you feel the tension? Can you feel your attention on this video in the past 10 seconds? I think it is a powerful idea to just simply pick a keyword or a key idea and repeat it a couple times. You'll probably slow your cadence down, you'll create silence, and you'll create attention. And if you back it up from there, right? What kid wouldn't find it fun thinking about all the smells in the ark? It doesn't have to be long. You don't have to be an actress on stage. You don't even have to memorize the script. But if you know, partway, halfway through the story, that you're gonna take a minute and just talk about all the smells in the ark, you're gonna recapture the kids' attention and prepare them to actually be listening for the end of the story when you're most likely gonna be delivering the most important truth or what you want them to remember that week. Try it. It works for me. Our next idea, our next strategy for keeping things fun, spread some sugar. Now, before it gets weird, let me explain. This idea is really simple. In fact, it kind of feels like a cheat code or a shortcut because it's really simple and it's really easy to skip this one. But this one works. I'm talking, of course, about candy. Here's an announcement. Kids love candy. I was reminded of this simple fact the other week. I was sitting with a small group of kids after the lesson, and on occasion, as a volunteer, I'll be given some candy that I can pass out to my kids before we dismiss for the end of service. And of course, the question that week from the kids was, are we gonna have candy? I had to say no because we weren't passing out candy that week. but boy did they remember that we give out candy. So use that to your advantage. It's so easy to think, oh, candy was something that worked for me when I was little. That's true, but candy works today for the kids we're teaching now. Candy hasn't gone out of style. Maybe some of you are like me and you want to think of interesting ways and fun ways to engage kids. Well, don't forget the obvious. Candy still works. Put it this way, some ideas never lose their sweetness, like sugar. Don't forget candy. Idea number 3, build suspense. Imagine bringing this into Sunday school. But what if you brought a cooler or a box or a mysterious bag? And it was obvious just by shaking it that there was something in it, but you didn't tell everyone right away. Maybe you just, as you start your story, you set it on the table beside you, and then you just start talking. Do you think you would have their attention? Oh, I guarantee it. So what could you use the box for? Well, here's a couple ideas. Number 1, for David and Goliath, put a sandwich bag inside. Like put a little paper sack with a sandwich you made at home and maybe a snack, right? Because how did David get to the battle? Well, he was bringing his brother's food. So pack some food and put it in the box. Remember, it doesn't have, what you bring out of here needs to relate to the lesson, but it doesn't have to be cake for everyone to eat. It can relate to the story. Part of the idea is the suspense this brings. What you put in can be simple. Here's another one. What if you showed up to class with something like this and you put a bunch of rotten food in there for your lesson about sin? And maybe your whole lesson's not about sin, but maybe that's the big idea, or maybe that's the point. And I mean, it's very easy to connect the rotten, disgusting food to the state of our heart, right? Without Jesus. I mean, and rotten food, bonus points if it like smells in the classroom. Like this could get real fun real fast. Also slightly chaotic, but you'll have everyone's attention. Don't be scared of chaos. It's okay. If it's a moment that gets everyone re-engaged so you can settle everyone down and then you can deliver basically the punchline of your lesson, what an opportunity. Strategy number 3, be ridiculous. I know what you're thinking. Isn't that what we've already talked about? No, we're actually going to talk about being ridiculous now. 2 examples for you. Number 1, when you worship with them, when you sing with them, why not encourage them to sing so loud that the adults can hear us in the sanctuary? All the grown-ups, do you think they'll be able to hear us if we sing really loud? Now don't scream, just sing really loud. Let's see how much noise we can make. Especially if you have a fun worship song. Oh, I can't tell you how many times I did this with my 4-year-old class. I mean, I think for like 7 or 8 years running, this was the thing we did every week, and it worked every single week. While you're worshiping, while you're having fun, give them ways to do it. Stand on one foot. Sing quietly. Sing with your head upside down. Sing laying on the floor. Remember, a playful approach will help you engage the kids. So sing, but do it in a different position. Do it in a different style. Sing like a very deep singer with a big voice. Or sing really high. Right? Have fun. Be silly. It's engaging. Another ridiculous example. Think about the ridiculous but perhaps logical conclusion of what you're saying. For instance, the other week in class we're talking about how to get to heaven. And I had all of their attention when I said, well, how do you get to heaven? Like, let me think here. How do you get to somewhere you've never been before? I know. You take out your phone and you open Google Maps and you type in the address. You type in, let's see, what's the name? Heaven. 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 Let's see here. Are we gonna find it on Google Maps? You'll barely have your phone out and the kids are already like, no, you can't find it on Google Maps. But that makes it fun, that makes it interesting, and don't forget, sneaky tip, that actually highlights your question. How do you get to heaven? That's a very important answer for them to remember. So think about the question, how do you get to heaven? Well, maybe part of being ridiculous is just thinking about perhaps a logical answer if you were to replace heaven with something else. How do you get to the store? You would use your phone. So do it with them. Try it. It's fun and it's engaging. Idea number 17,004. Oh, I don't think we've gotten that many yet. But the next idea on the list is make fun a 2-letter word. I know I'm being ridiculous. Remember a minute ago we talked about sugar never going out of style? Well, here's another idea that just probably never goes out of style. It's of course a clothing choice. It's P and J. It's 2 letters. It's not fun, but fun is spelled P-J. I'm not talking about peanut butter and jelly. I'm talking about pajamas. You likely know this, but kids love them some pajamas. And if you give them the permission to wear pajamas to church, what do you think the kids are going to wake up on next Sunday morning if you have class on Sundays? What do you think they're going to tell their parents? I get to wear pajamas to church! As adults, we lose some of that excitement, but don't forget, pajamas are a big deal to kids, and you give them permission to wear it to somewhere where they don't normally wear it, like church? I mean, they're going to bring their friends. This is exciting stuff. And of course, have a good reason. Maybe the week they wear pajamas is the week you're teaching on King Saul asleep in the cave when David sneaks up and cuts a corner of his robe, right? Or one year I did it for Christmas when we talked about the shepherds asleep on the hillside, or they were sleeping with watching their flocks by night. We had a whole camping theme and kids wear pajamas. One more example, one year they did pajamas for the New Year's, I think it was a New Year's Eve or New Year's Day service. And they had all the kids wear pajamas because that weekend is just, so many families just kind of say, hey, we're going to skip this weekend. New Year's weekend is often a relaxing weekend. Oh man, we had a great turnout because you know what they did? They did pajamas and pancakes and they promoted it for 2 weeks. Oh, we had great attendance and they got gluten-free, I don't know what it was, gluten-free, taste-free, sugar-free, allergy-free, I don't know, mix. So it was real simple. No eggs and milk and flour, and it was real simple. Water in the mix, I think is all they had. And they had some fun toppings. Oh, it was stickiness for days, but man, it was fun. And man, was it a good idea. Don't forget, spell fun with 2 letters. P-J, pajamas. So as we close, let me remind you, dressed in these Sully from Monsters, Inc. pajamas, that you need to participate. When you do silly songs, when you're encouraging them to be silly, you be silly. When you're playing a fun game, have fun with them. When you encourage them to wear their pajamas, wear pajamas yourself. Hey, you can't do it every time, but I think these were $20 on Amazon. Oh man, when I used this in Sunday school, it was the best $20 I've ever spent. I mean, this thing is awesome. Participate. Have fun with them. Don't be the serious teacher presiding over the fun. Thou shalt have fun. No, get in there. Have fun with them. They'll feel like they have permission. You'll engage them. And it's a nonverbal cue that it's okay to have fun. That learning about Jesus is fun. All right? These are just some of my ideas and some things that have worked for me to engage kids and to keep Sunday school exciting, even during the most serious part of the Sunday where you're sharing the truth of God's word. Don't skip being playful. Make it fun. Now, 2 things. Number 1, let me know in the comments below what's worked for you. How have you made your class more fun? And then number 2, check out this page linked below on my website where there's even more ideas, like rearranging the furniture. Oh, there's some fun ones on there. Check out the list and let me know what you think. I'm Nathan from BetterBibleTeachers.com, and thank you for teaching kids God's Word. You rock. I'll see you soon.